during this lesson, but I want you to read.
Block on the origin of the Egyptians says they were Negroes, especially as seen in the fullness of their lips.
Read that again.
Block on the origin of the Egyptians says they were Negroes.
So Block, who was a Grecian historian, said that the Egyptians were black, and he says that they had thick lips. Read on.
That says they were Negroes, especially as seen in the fullness of their lips.
So it says they were Negroes, and it was especially seen through the fullness of their lips. So they had full, thick lips, like you see that the Negroes in America might have today, or Negroes throughout the earth might have today, to let you know that the Egyptians were people of color and that they had Negro features. So that's why when Joseph was amongst them, his brothers was not able to recognize him. Read on.
This characteristic is nothing else but proof of the Negroid origin of the Egyptians and consequently of their African origin.
So it says, this characteristic is nothing else but atavistic proof of the Negroid origin of the Egyptians, consequently of their African origin. Read on.
It is the same with the enlarged base of the nose and its lesser height. He cites as further proof the Egyptians, though healthy, large, and robust, were clumsy in their forms and coarse in their features. Like other African tribes, they were wool-haired.
So this is speaking about the Egyptians. It says like other African tribes, they were what?
The Egyptians, though healthy, large, and robust, were clumsy in their forms and coarse in their features. Like other African tribes, they were wool-haired.
So it says like other African tribes, they were wool-haired. Read on.
Flat-nosed.
It says they were flat-nosed. Read on.
Thick-lipped.
And thick lips. That's the basic description of a Negro in America, or blacks throughout the whole earth. You understand? So that's why his brothers, when Joseph's brothers came into the land of Egypt, they was not able to recognize Joseph. You understand? He combined, or he blended in with the Egyptians, who were also a dark people upon this earth, to let you know that the Egyptians are not white like they portray in modern history. They were black. Let's sit on that. Let's get Exodus chapter 2, verse 19. And we really don't have to go through all these scriptures, but this basically gives you an idea of what the children of Israel actually looked like according to the Bible.
Exodus chapter 2, verse 19. And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds.
So it says, and they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds. This is two Midianite women coming to their father, Ruel, or who would later be called Jethro, coming to their father and letting them know that they were saved out of the hand of an Egyptian, or who they thought was an Egyptian. Now when you read on, it lets you know, or when you read before, it lets you know that this man was Moses. Read.
And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds.
So it says, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, to let you know that they confused Moses with an Egyptian, because Moses had the same features. He had the same woolly hair, the same full lips, the same dark skin as the Egyptians. So it's no big surprise that these Midianite women, who are Arabs, confused Moses with the Egyptians, because he looked just like the Egyptians, who were dark-skinned people. Read on.
And also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, and where is he? Why is...
Let's sit on that. Let's get Numbers chapter 12, verse 1. But before you get that, let's get Exodus chapter 4, verse 6. Read that. Exodus chapter 4, verse 6.
Exodus chapter 4, verse 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, Put now thy hand into thy bosom.
Both sides showing the miracle unto Moses. He says, and the Most High said furthermore unto him, put now thy hand into thy bosom. So the Most High is telling Moses to put his hand inside of his bosom. This is one of the miracles that the Most High showed Moses during when he first started conversating and dealing with Moses. Read on.
And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
Read that again.
And he put his hand into his bosom.
So it says he put his hand into his bosom. So he put his hand into his bosom, and what happened? Read on.
And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
So this was the miracle that the Most High was showing Moses. He said that when he put his hand into his bosom, first he told him to put his hand into his bosom. Then he took his hand out of his bosom, and it was leprous, white as snow. Let you know that leprosy is not what they portray it to be in modern day, through modern day teaching. They teach you, they don't teach you the truth about what leprosy actually is. But right here we have a picture on what it actually is, on what a person that's leprous actually looks like. This is a picture of a man with leprosy. As you can see, this man is obviously a black man that's suffering the curse of leprosy. As you can see, the middle of his face is black. You can see that his ears are black, but yet the other parts of his skin you can see are turning white. That's the plague of leprosy. That's what leprosy actually looks like. So this is what happened to Moses' hand when it was put inside of his bosom. It was turned white. Read on.
And he said, put thy hand into thy bosom again.
So he told him to put his hand into his bosom again. Read on.
And he put his hand into his bosom again and plucked it out of his bosom.
So it says he put his hand into his bosom again, and then he plucked it out of his bosom. So what happened after to his flesh after it was put back into his bosom and then plucked out of his bosom?
And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
So it says it was turned again as his other flesh. So the question is, what was the color of his other flesh? According to what we just read in Exodus chapter 2, verse 19, his other flesh was dark. He was a black man because he was mistaken for an Egyptian. Let's get Acts 13 and 1. We're in Acts chapter 13, verse 1.
Acts chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers.
So this is speaking about certain prophets and teachers that was in the church of Antioch. Read on.
As Barnabas and Simeon.
So it says it's Barnabas and Simeon. Simeon is Peter. Read on.
That was called Niger.
What were they called?
That was called Niger.
So these certain prophets and teachers that were within the church of Antioch were called Niger. Niger is the Latin word for the word black. And to show that, let's get the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Let's get the word Niger out of the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. To show you that the apostles and the disciples were black also. Read on.
Niger, a surname of Simeon.
Read that right there.
Niger, black.
Read that again.
Niger, black.
So we can see that according to the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, or according to any dictionary that you can find throughout this earth, that the word Niger means black. Read on.
A surname of Simeon.
So this was a surname of Simeon, who was Peter. Read on.
One of the 5 prophets and teachers of the church of Antioch.
And he was one of the 5 prophets and teachers in the church of Antioch that you read of in Acts the 13th chapter. To let you know that Peter also and other disciples that were within the church of Antioch were called Niger, or were called black. And you can see throughout the earth today, we're still known by this word Niger. You understand, throughout the earth. Let's get Acts 21 and 38.